Alright, so I actually found a very interesting interview with Tony Gilroy, and this is talking about what the original Andor plot was before he came in to write the series. And he talks about the issues of like using that type of plot for Andor.
You couldn't have a Butch and Sundance sort of K2 and Cassian doing a mission every week because you could only storm the Citadel, once or twice before it gets pretty tedious. And it was a kind of replicating. It was the kind of thing that anybody who was under a lot of pressure would probably gravitate to. If you looked at it from 40,000 feet above, you go like, man, you're trapped.
Whether or not that would have worked or not, I feel like we already have a show like that on Disney Plus, and it's called Bad Batch, where like all you do is just go on missions, which I'm not saying that's bad at all, but if you want a show like that, just watch Bad Batch, which is like, you got your Sid missions, and you go on this mission and that mission. I feel like that's what Tony Gilroy is talking about, where you'd be stuck doing the same thing over and over again. Now, here's the thing about K-2SO, which I find really interesting, which I'm going to show another clip about him talking about K-2SO and why he hasn't shown up yet.
You can't hold my interest for year after year or week after week after week with that same dynamic. So you automatically have to go in a different direction. And then also very controversially, to my mind, and particularly off my experience on Rogue, the K2 character, as beloved and fantastic as he was kind of a story killer every minute. I mean, you can't take him anywhere. You can't fall in love with him. He's an Imperial droid, so every place you go, you have to explain him. Or he's just if you go back and look at Rogue, I mean, even in Rogue, we were parking him 3 or 4 times back on the go back to the parking lot and wait in the car. I mean, it's already, you could see the shadow of that problem already in Rogue, and so it's really my idea was that you wouldn't have a K2 relationship until very, very deep into the show.
So he's talking about the dynamic of K-2SO and Cassian Andor, and this is also like kind of referring to the 5-season plan that he had, and pretty much he's saying that you can't really just have the Cassian Andor and K-2SO dynamic for 5 seasons and just going on missions for 5 seasons, because that would get boring. So that's why they're doing the 2 seasons thing, and also why K-2SO hasn't shown up in the show, and he's saying K2 won't show up until like deeper into the show, and my guess is it won't probably be until the 2nd or 3rd arc of season 2. So there's already a comic that shows K-2SO and Cassian Andor meeting, and we know the timeline is between 2 and 0 BBY. So just by that idea, like obviously they could retcon that and just change that, which I'm pretty sure we are. But if they want to keep like the same year it happens, then most likely we won't see K-2SO until the 3rd arc of Andor. So there's 4 arcs of Andor season 2. There's the 1st arc, which is 4 BBY. The 2nd arc, that is 3 BBY. The 3rd arc, that's 2 BBY. And the last arc, that is 1 BBY. So the 3rd arc is most likely we're going to see K-2SO. Unless they want to change the timeline where they meet early, which that's very possible. And I love K-2SO as well. Like, K-2SO is a very cool character, and I love Alan Tudyk.
Can we say the title?
Not quite yet.
No?
Okay, that's good, actually, because I have a suggestion for a title. Because right now it's being called...
Yeah, it's Cassian Andor, the untitled story. Huh?
Which is missing something.
No, it's okay
for me.
like that.
I'm thinking K2 Fast, K2 Furious.
I don't know, Alan.
A Cassian Andor story. We've got you and me in there.
So like the idea of like the Avengers of Cassian and K2, that might have sold more than what we currently have, but at the same time, I feel like getting more in-depth character analysis and like in-depth stories with different characters besides just K-2SO and Andor. I feel like that was a smart choice from Tony Gilroy, and about reusing the same, like, plot idea of just, like, the heist. It would get really boring to see the same, like, mission over and over again. Obviously, it would be awesome to see K-2SO in a lot of episodes in Season 2. Just based on what Tony Gilroy is saying here, we probably won't see that until at least halfway through Season 2, from my guess. And if they want to stick with canon, then probably the 3rd arc. So yeah, that's pretty much the video. My question for you guys is, would you prefer what we got, like a slow burn spy thriller type of show? Or would you have preferred maybe the action adventure type of show that we could have gotten with K-2SO and Cassian Andor going on these different adventures? But yeah, that's about it for this video.